Hey guys, it's Andrea and welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time joining us, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all my latest videos. So they're doing a little construction in the hallway, but as you know, like with a newborn, you have to strike while the iron's hot. So you guys are just gonna have to forgive me for that. But I have baby Michael here swaddled. I have my woman up on deck, so let's get this going. So today's video is going to be all about my newborn baby Michael, who is now 1 month old. I cannot believe this much time has passed. I've been a mom for a month and I still feel pretty new, but I'm getting into the swing of things, so I'm feeling all right. So today's going to be a pretty much update on all things about Michael. If you want to get to know him a little bit more, feel free to watch some of my vlogs. I'll link the playlist down below so you guys can see him in action. So baby Michael was born on August 30th at 12:46 p.m. He weighed 7 pounds and 1 ounce and he was 20 inches long. By the time we left the hospital, he had lost a little bit of weight, about 7%, weighing 6 pounds and 9 ounces. He was able to gain all of that back within 1 week plus some, weighing 8 pounds and change by his first checkup. He's currently in the 15th percentile for his weight, 19th percentile for his height, and 50th percentile for his head. He can thank his mama and his daddy because we both big-headed and short for those numbers. I'm going to segment this into health, sleeping and eating, and personality because those are pretty much the only things that he does at this point. I'll touch a little bit on pooping too because that's, you know, what they do. So in terms of health, so if you haven't watched my labor and delivery video, so my son went to NICU for about 7.5 hours due to the dramatic delivery story. He was born via emergency cesarean section, so they checked him out because his heart rate was dropping during my entire labor. And during that time in NICU, they did discover that he has a heart murmur. So he has what is known as an innocent heart murmur, and it's basically the sound of his heart pumping blood to his lungs. So that sound is what they're hearing in the murmur, and in most cases they will grow out of it and there's no harm or risk to him at this point. I went to a cardiologist and had it checked out because we're not playing games here, but my dad also has a heart murmur, but she listened to it. She said it's very mild and it could heal up in the next few weeks, but she does want to see him back in 1 year. At that point, if it's still there and they feel that they need to do any kind of additional work on it, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. My baby was also born with a belly button hernia. So I was already kind of bracing myself that my son was probably going to have a hernia because my husband was born with a belly button hernia that never closed up. He was 13 years old when he got it surgically closed. So I was kind of like, there's a good chance that he'll have it because my stepdaughter also had it. After doing more research, I learned that 30 to 40% of African American babies are born with belly button hernias and they're not that big of a deal. So that was another thing that freaked me out, but nothing to worry about. And that's kind of like the gist of this health section is there's going to be a lot of stuff that comes up with your baby that's going to freak you the hell out and you just got to calm down. But as a first time mom, I'm not going to calm down. I'm going to continue to Google it and Google it until I give myself a freaking heart attack. My baby also has extraordinarily sensitive skin, more sensitive than I was ever anticipating. He can be totally fine 1 minute and I'll turn around and his entire body is covered in hives. We can essentially use nothing but coconut oil on his skin. He recently brushed up against someone's clothes who had very fragrant detergent, and his entire face was covered in bumps to the point where they were kind of like had liquid coming out of them and very, very irritated. And it's just a learning process. You know, we just keep him really, really clean, really, really dry. He also got milk neck, so he had a rash that broke out from the crevices of his neck getting milk caught in it, so we have to make sure we really, really scrub his neck after he eats and then make sure it's completely dry. I've been using this cornstarch powder and I just dab it on. You don't want to directly pour it on because it can cause breathing issues, so you want to make sure you're applying it as opposed to just dumping it on your baby's neck, just to keep it nice and dry, and that has significantly helped and it pretty much cleared it up. All the bumps are dried out, so we're just waiting for his skin to clear up. Even Aveeno baby products, which are pediatrician recommended, completely covered him in hives, so we have to use nothing but coconut oil. his skin. So moving into the sleeping and eating category. So I just made a breastfeeding video. You should check that out, but my baby does have a lip tie and had a lot of difficulty latching for the first couple of weeks. But now he latches on perfectly fine. He still unlatches from time to time, but he's come such a far way. Does not need to eat from bottles anymore. He is exclusively breastfeeding at this point, and I'm very, very happy to report that. But I can tell you from when he was using bottles, he was eating about 3 to 4 ounces in one sitting, and I was pumping, so I know that I can get up to 5 ounces from each breast. But I can see that my supply has already started to adjust itself down now that he's exclusively breastfeeding, which I actually am happy about because I was getting engorged very quickly and couldn't keep up with the pumping schedule. In terms of sleeping, so one of the first things that I did when I brought Michael home was try and establish the difference between day and night with him. So in the daytime, we're very, very interactive. We're playing, we're talking, we're listening to music. But during the night, we turn those lights off. We keep the sounds way low, and it's just a very mellow and relaxing environment. And now he definitely knows the difference. Once the lights go off, he's very drowsy. He knows kind of the routine that at night, you know, this is not the time to play. Although in the recent few days, he has been waking up around 4:30, 5 o'clock trying to play, which is so cute. And I really try and resist playing with him because I want to keep it like a business feed. Like, I don't make eye contact, I don't talk, I don't giggle, this is not the time to play. But he's so cute when I look over in his little bassinet and he's just kicking and smiling away. You know, sometimes I do a little goo 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 goo, and then I keep it back to business. So he takes about 2 naps during the day at this point. We're in nap number 1. He sleeps for about 2.5 hours at a time. But he feeds for like an hour and change because he feeds a little, he burps, he falls asleep a little, he wakes back up, he eats. So he's not someone who can just latch on and eat consistently, so it takes him a long time. So he is awake a lot during the day, but during the night he's basically like dream feeding. He doesn't even open his eyes most of the time. He just eats, burps, and goes back to sleep. I only change him in the night if I feel that his diaper is really wet or I know that he pooped. But other than that, I try and keep very minimal disturbance with him so he can get a good night's rest, because I can get a good night's rest. But in order for the little guy to get a good nap, he has to be swaddled. If he's not swaddled, he's punching himself in the face, he's clawing at himself, he's shaking, you know, he's doing all the most, he's waking himself up. So he has to be swaddled nice and tight and cozy. If you are swaddling your baby, make sure you keep the legs loose because you can do something to their hips. I forgot what it's called, I'll put it right here, but basically it ain't good. And now for personality, my favorite part, because I am Miss Personality. But little Michael already has such a little attitude. It's so cute. He's always giving somebody the side eye. He's making faces. He loves daddy. He's such a little snuggle bug in the morning. He wants to be cuddled and held really, really tight. And then by the afternoon, he's like, let me live. Can I just do my own thing? He wants to kick around and do his little rolls. He can already almost roll. He can roll to his side. He can lift his head up, he can turn. He's been able to do that since he was pretty much a week old. His neck is incredibly strong, especially for this big old head, hello 50th percentile, but he's really, really strong. I say that he got it from his daddy because his daddy is strong. His daddy was a personal trainer for years, so. But he's starting to smile. Now, all babies have a smile reflex where they'll kind of do this really big grin and you're like, oh my God, he's smiling. But it's a reflex, girl, calm down. He's not smiling because of you, he's smiling because his brain is telling him to. But now he's doing more of a social smile. So when I smile at him or talk to him, he'll smile back at me, and it's really, really beautiful and cute. And his eyes light up, and he's already starting to coo. And you know, if you coo to him and you go ooh, he'll ooh back at you, and it's so, so cute. And that's like brand new, like as of 6:30 a.m. But it's absolutely divine. So that's really all that I have for baby Michael at 1 month. I'm going to do monthly updates. I hope they know all of these renovations that they're doing. I'm not paying more to live here. As I was saying, I'm going to do these updates monthly, so I'll see you guys in our 2-month update. Bye. Our 6 weeks are coming to an end of no sexy time, so we're trying to figure out what is going to be our mode of protection against having another Michael before we want one.